central Bosnia. In front of us we can see a little town, as I said, named Visoko. Visoko actually means in Bosnian high, be high. So we are all in high right now. And above the town of Visoko, the largest and the oldest pyramid in the world, the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. You can see its northern side. This area actually has always been historically very rich. Why? Bosnia is in Balkan Peninsula, central part of Balkan Peninsula. That central part is between East and West, and old civilizations of East and West, between ancient Greece and Rome, between these movement of civilizations and different things that were happening in between. So this was like a cross point of these things that were happening in the ancient past. So over here there are some findings of Neolithic civilizations, their settlements, over there archaeological excavations. Through the medieval time, over here, just 200 meters away as well, there is a medieval Bosnian, the remainings of medieval Bosnian church where the Bosnian kings were crowned. Even inside the city, some remainings of the king's chambers and some of their buildings. And even on the top of the structure, there are remainings of medieval, maybe 13th century castle that once was a house to the Bosnian royalties. Dr. Sam, the Bosnian, who was living in Houston for more than 30 years, I think, was also the writer and traveler and also investigator of the ancient civilizations. He was traveling around the world, visiting different continents, different sites and locations, writing about the ancient civilizations, and he wrote several books called Alternative History by 2005. All these books called Alternative History started with one sentence. The sentence was, almost everything they teach us about the ancient history is wrong. The origin of man, civilization, and the pyramids. And he was traveling and visiting locations of ancient civilization, the huge megalithic cities, walls, structures, remainings of those, some amazing megalithic sites, and the pyramids. Since usually when we mention the pyramids, we think about the Egyptian pyramids. This is the first association. And even when we think about Egyptian pyramids, we are thinking about pharaohs and mummies. Because it's wrong, because it doesn't have anything to do with it. The pyramids have never, any of the mummies have never been found inside any of those pyramids. All of the mummies were found in the Valley of the Kings, which is 100 kilometers southern of the Giza Valley. And the pharaohs were not the one who built the pyramids. They were ones who were ruling during one part of the era when these structures already were there. Egyptians found those pyramids over there and started to worship them and use them for their own ceremonies and rituals. We also know about the pyramids in Teotihuacan, central Mexico, Kukulcan pyramids, pyramids in Belize, Peru, Guatemala, Honduras, pyramids in Southeast Asia, over 200 pyramids in China, pyramids in Algeria, Northern Africa, pyramids in Canarian Islands. So pyramids are a worldwide phenomenon. They can be found on almost every continent, and they are the structures of the past. They've been built in a different way, with a different material, on a different structures, with a different formation, but they all were built thousands of years ago by the unknown civilization. There are amazing resemblance between some of the structures that can be found in South America and Southeast Asia, even though they are thousands of kilometers away. The same symbols, the same structure, the same stuff. So the modern archaeology and modern history cannot answer those questions, how these civilizations were connected in the past. Dr. Sam was writing that most probably time of the past, thousands of years ago, there was a global civilization that had possessed the knowledge and the power to build such structures. So back in 2005, Dr. Sam was invited to this little Bosnian town to examine some interesting artifacts that have been found in the city and in the area. So as soon as he came to the city, he noticed the perfect geometry of the hill above it. Knowing that there are pyramids around the world that are also covered in the soil, he was very suspicious about this one. Walking around, he noticed beside the perfect geometry there are also perfect triangles, triangular sides. He climbed to the western side. On the western side there is the access plateau. The plateau that leads towards the top. 120 meters long plateau, perfectly symmetric from the both sides. Climbed to the top, took his compass, and he was trying to compare these triangular sides to the cardinal points of the Earth. And he actually noticed that these sides are also perfectly orientated to the points. All of the pyramids are, these in Egypt, they're all orientated in a specific certain level. But our pyramid has less than 11 seconds, so less than 0 degrees, 0 minutes and 11 seconds of deviation from the cosmic north, which makes it one of the most precise buildings in the world and the most precise pyramid in the world. So this is what we can see, perfect northern side of the pyramid. He immediately noticed from the top that there are similar pyramidal structures in the area. Pyramids kind of never come alone, they are always in the groups, there are always more of them. He noticed that there are at least 4 other pyramidal structures in the area, and he decided to start a preliminary excavations on those structures. Anywhere he would start to remove the material from the access plateau to the northern side, eastern side, southern side, under approximately 1.5 meters of the soil, he was finding the huge concrete blocks, rectangular blocks that are spreading one next to each other and coming even 4 levels. So he was digging 4 levels of the blocks coming one above each other. Immediately noticed this cannot be part of the natural formation. Invited geologists and archaeologists from Sarajevo and elsewhere, and they all came and they all confirmed the existence of obviously artificial influence on those structures. Dr. Sam named the largest one of those pyramids in the valley Pyramid of the Sun. Sun is the largest object in the sky. It provides with the life, with the energy, etc., etc. In New Mexico we have Sun and Moon Pyramid, so we know why it's its name. Pyramid of the Sun has more than 270 meters height. Cheops Pyramid in Egypt, that is now considered by the science, the mainstream science, as the largest pyramid, has 147 meters. This one more than 270. So it's less than 1/3 of the Cheops Pyramid what we have over here. Then we actually discovered another structure, named it Pyramid of the Moon, which is a little bit less, but it has the same characteristics. Pyramid of the Moon has 190 meters height, and the Pyramid of the Dragon with less than 90 meters height. These are 3 main pyramids in Bishop: Sun, Moon, and the Pyramid of the Bosnian Dragon. There are 2 more structures. The first one is just left of the Sun Pyramid. The first thing you can see on the left from the Sun Pyramid, that's the Pyramid of Love, the Bosnian Pyramid of Love, and the one in the distance, covered completely in the forest, on the front part is also modified, artificially modified into the pyramid. That's the Temple of Mother Earth. So these are the 5 main structures in the Bosnian Valley of the Pyramids. Pyramid of the Sun, the biggest one. Pyramid of the Moon, second largest pyramid in the world. Pyramid of the Dragon, 3rd main pyramid in the valley. And then the Pyramid of Love and the Temple of Mother Earth as 2 very interesting structures, but most probably artificially modified hills. While these 3 cardinal pyramids are proved to be built from the base to the top. All of those pyramids has some characteristics that are connecting them. The first thing is perfect geometry. Second is the triangular sides. Third thing is the access plateaus. All of them has access plateaus. Fourth thing is the orientation. They're all orientated at the cardinal point. Fifth thing is the artificial material that is approximately 1.5 meters under the soil. Sixth thing is existence of underground tunnels and passageways. With additional research of georadar, geothermal scanning, we discovered that approximately the first tunnels are starting on 15-20 meters inside, some of them even deeper and deeper. So all of the pyramids are actually kind of made with the hundreds of meters of the tunnels inside of them. Then seventh thing is the energy phenomena. These pyramids are vibrating with very specific vibration and very specific energy, while two of them, Pyramid of the Sun and another structure of Tumulu that you will see, also have beams coming out of them from the top, while the Moon Pyramid is vibrating all by itself. We will come to that and we will explain all of these things, how they're happening. And then seventh thing is, or eighth thing, I don't know, is the water. Water is very important for the Valley of the Pyramids. All of the pyramids are constructed in a specific way to take the water inside, and the water is also a very important part of the functioning, the whole system inside Bosnian Valley of the Pyramids. Dr. Sam came to the public telling that the Bosnia is the first European countries, and the Bosnian pyramids over here are the first European pyramids, and they're the oldest and the biggest pyramid in the world. He got all the media attention, all the biggest media TV houses came to report about it, and we organized in 2008 the first international scientific conference where we hosted a big number of geologists, archaeologists, Egyptologists, experts from all around the world. They spent 10 days here in Visoko exploring and coming to all of the sites, and by the end of the conference they all concluded that it's actually home to the largest artificial complex on the planet. This was first. This is when all supposed to grow up, but that's when the dark forces come. We know now that we live in the world with the filtered information, with the limited number of information, the information that is being modified, information that's been manipulated. Sometimes, some years ago, we used to call it conspiracy theories. Now we know it's a fact. The world and everything that is happening on it, from political, economical values, everything is being manipulated and is being instructed by a little number of people or organization that is unfortunately deciding how the things are going to happen in order to keep the status quo, to keep us in the darkness, to keep us in unknowledged, because it's easier to control us and it's easier for us to not understand our full potential. So the things that we are studying and reading in the books, unfortunately, are unchecked things, the things that are still theories. If you go take the children's books from the elementary school, when they mention in the pyramids, there are photos of slaves pushing and carrying these huge blocks, you know, creating such a large structure with such a precision. And they don't tell them that it's just a theory. You know, we don't know how the pyramids have been built. The mainstream science doesn't know how they managed to transport this huge number of the blocks from one place to another, to create such a perfect geometry, to create such a perfect precision. They don't know. They only have the theories. But when you read it in the children books, even in the adult books, they'll tell you it has been built like this. So it doesn't say it's only a theory, it's a possibility. They immediately close this chapter in your young brain, so you don't ask any more questions all your life. Imagine how it is to the kids, you know? It doesn't tell them, kids, listen, there is a possibility that it's being built like this. Maybe there is something else. Maybe we don't know too much, but maybe you will be the one who will discover. So it wakes the children's minds for possibilities and open their mind, you know, for investigation and possibilities that everything can be changed. No, just tell them, this is like this. And it closes. It doesn't encourage them to question stuff. And it's everything like this as we grow up. So we stop asking the questions. We just take some things as they are. But we don't know they are like this. It's just a theory. We believe that we found out stuff. We live in the world that the expert decided everything is understood. No, nothing is understood. It's just an illusion. But it's created for us to stop asking the questions, to believe in this matrix that is excavated around us. So we immediately got the opposition from first Sarajevo scientists, let's call them like this. They didn't want to visit the pyramids. They started to sign the petitions in order to stop us from excavating on the surface of the Pyramid of the Sun, where we were searching for the possible entrance, and more these beautiful concrete blocks, even the corner blocks with the 90 degrees, which is clear proof of the artificial influence and the artificial structure. They said you have to stop excavating there because you are damaging the ruins of the medieval town on the top. So, over the hundreds of years, Bosnia has been occupied by different forces, from influence of the Eastern and Western cultures for Serbians and Croatians during medieval time by the end of it, and then the Ottoman Empire for 400 years, and then we were part of the other unions of the countries. They were all occupators. Nobody took care about these structures, about these castles. Bosnia is full of them. On almost every hill you can find remainings of some castle. Nobody took care of them because that's the part of the history when we were all united. None of those occupators wanted us to be reunited, you know. So they didn't talk about our medieval past. They just ruined these castles and nobody took care of it. Until we got the independence and maybe we started slowly to do something. But this sat over there for hundreds of years and became a ruin, bunch of stones. But still, it's an archaeological location and it has the 20 meters of protected area, no excavations there. We were not even coming close to it. Plus, we would never destroy part of the history. We are here to protect the history. So if it's that part of our history, of a medieval time, we were gonna do everything to protect it. We were excavating hundreds of meters underneath it, not even coming close to it, not even touching anything that is already destroyed. They said, no, it's very dangerous that you are excavating close to that. And plus, there are no pyramids there. We asked them, how do you know there are no pyramids there? You haven't been there. We didn't do any excavations. You haven't done even excavations on the top of that structure to protect that medieval tower. How do you know? And listen what their answer was. The scientific elite who is actually deciding what is truth and what is not. They said the Bosnia doesn't have a pyramids because Bosnia didn't have a pharaohs. That was their answer. Because we didn't have a pharaohs. That's how they connect the pyramids. Forgetting everything that I just told you in the beginning, the pyramids.
How do they know you would have pharaohs?
Yeah, as well. They don't know even that. So they're not scientists. That's not science. Science is empirical. You come, investigate, then you give a conclusion. These guys are giving conclusion without any further analysis, anything. And they were being even backed up by international community who started to be afraid about what we're doing here, what we're discovering, how the things are going to change. Everything we know here is going to change. It's going to change the history books. It's going to change the encyclopedias. It's going to change professor seats and their PhD diplomas because they're got on the wrong history. So it's a big step for humanity, and they decided it's too early for them. Even some of the Egyptian scientists who were here, who were claiming, were immediately concluding that it's the pyramid, when they got back to Egypt, they've been so much attacked. They've been considered as the enemies #1 of their countries. Why? Egypt is a touristic country. It's mostly desert, everything around, but it lives out of tourism. More than $5 billion per year just in tourism. If all of a sudden there are European pyramids, they're going to attract all of those money, they're going to lose all of it. So there is this as well, there is this aspect, there is economic aspect, there is political aspect, there is just pure jealousy. There is also something on the top of it that is controlling what's happening. So all of a sudden this guy started to change his mind. No, I never said it's a pyramid, I can't tell it because I was asking for the right written, thing with the statement, what he said over here, I can't. So even he lost his job, he had to move to another country, he didn't work for Poland anymore because he was here, he was under huge pressure. Many others as well, and many of the professors in Sarajevo too. So they managed to move the protected area that was 20 meters around the ruins of the medieval time to 120 meters around it. And we couldn't excavate any more on any part of the surface, only on the little part at the bottom of the pyramid that was coming out of the protected zone. But this part on the bottom, when we excavate, the blocks are not so perfect as they are on the little bit up because the more pressure was on them. But still, we have a beautiful area with the beautiful concrete blocks, which is enough for anyone to be convinced that these are artificial structures. So unfortunately, they tried to stop the project, but Dr. Sam was so confident. He was really a big inspiration for all of us. Everything was against him, but he never gave up. And he knew what he found. He had a vision, and he continued through 2009 and 2010. He organized a volunteer camp for people who come from all around the world, opened the project for everyone to come. So this is not something like elite project, so only professionals can come and only they can discuss it, like in Egypt, and they discover something, they keep it as a secret. Why? It shouldn't be a secret. It belongs to all of us. It's our heritage, civilization's heritage. We all have right to know what's there. Every single artifact, every single tunnel. Now they tell you scientists discovered something. It has to be kept as a secret. No, this is open for everyone. So Dr. Sam started the volunteer camp over the summer. He started touristic tours, organized and discovered entrance to the tunnel that is 3 kilometers away from the pyramid. Started cleaning it, going towards the pyramid. If we can't enter the pyramid from the surface, we'll enter through the underground tunnel connecting them. So we are on that way as well. Discovered amazing things. Became the most active archaeological location in the world and the most open project in the world. So I like to compare it as a snowball. A little snowball. In the beginning it was little, and they tried to stop that, but somehow we managed to split between their fingers because of Dr. Sam, and now this snowball is really big and nobody can stop it. It's getting bigger and bigger each year. More and more people hear about it, more and more people are coming, more and more people are seeing these proofs that are showing us that here we have the largest complex of the pyramids in the world that are forever changing our history and the future. So over the years, our project, our foundation, Archaeological Park Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, became a big project that we have thousands and thousands of visitors each year, and at least 2 international conferences, scientific conferences per year, with more proofs, with more evidences, with more arguments, with experiments, with investigations, laboratory analysis, with more and more proofs. So now we are finding more and more about these structures and the civilization which built them. We discovered that the civilization that built them didn't live and didn't exclusively build this, and doesn't have anything to do with the tombs or anything like that, but it has to do something with the energies that in the end has something to do with our spirituality and what we are as humans. So our project also started to develop on these sides. We're not only focused now on archaeology, but we're focused on promoting the spiritual life, the healthy life, the life of us becoming one with the nature, protecting the nature, ecological values, also vibrational values, investigating the energies and how we are affecting on the nature, how the nature is affecting us, how we are interacting with each other, etc., etc. So we are a multidisciplinary project with different approaches, and all those approaches are teaching us a lot about the ancient civilizations. So, maybe in the beginning, when we started, we were more focused on physical values and archaeology and everything that we can see, technical stuff. So maybe we wouldn't even be able to appreciate what is inside because we were not that educated. Now, over the years, slowly, patiently cleaning the tunnels, discovering about life, we got enlightened too. And we are getting enlightened every year more and more. We are learning more. We are getting more and more prepared. We realize this is not only physical thing, it's spiritual. We need to be clean inside. We need to be clear. We need to be ready because we need to vibrate in a specific way.
You might find more dimensions too.
Exactly. You never know. Because we are taking everything as a possibility. So we're not excluding anything. And that is how we are preparing for ourselves for what we're going to find inside the pyramids, but also to try and, find the better life for the people in the future that we're going to go back to find and understand the civilizations.
Where is the base of the pyramid?
So the base of the pyramid is where we are going right now. It used to be in the first dark forest, pine forest over there. You can see a little bit on the bottom left corner. If you can see, there are little browny parts.
Right.
Yeah.
All those are excavations. The upper brownie parts were the lowest excavations, and the lowest part where we discovered the concrete blocks. From that point to the top is 220 meters. But then the last year we bought the land a little bit lower, and where are these excavations, lower brown parts, to the top is 270 meters. So we realized the pyramid is minimum depth. But the lower parts, where you can see the houses, they're also part of this side of the pyramid, but you can't excavate there because it's. But most probably it's also part of the pyramid, and the lower blocks, the base of the pyramid, which would make the pyramid even higher.
And you were saying it's filled, it's infilled. It's not just glommed onto something that was already existing.
Yes, the tunnels that are stretching in the valley, getting into the pyramid, are closed from inside. They're closed, they're filled with the material. But the pyramid itself it's covered with the soil, and later the vegetation grew up. There, you will see, we will go there right now. On the bottom of it, we have a guide there, our friends who are doing a very good presentation. They're going to explain to you how it's been done, how old is this soil that is covering these concrete blocks, how they grew up, what kind of analysis we did, and what kind of concrete we can find over there. So you're going to see that.
Okay.
So welcome one more time, and enjoy your stay in the Valley of the Pyramids, and open up to everything that comes.